Oko shepi and then G le kushile kwa sa. Oshepi, fly by your man there. It is delay. I never. We no go sit down the look. Make them come report our girls. Everybody, we rise up. We no fighting, we just up. No be so. No be so. We gonna share every day. People just go. So family was wiped out by Fulanis. So Jackie boy used to call them terrorists. We touch them the canoe, you go cause war. We touch it on the bow, you go cause war. Makana Prugo no Nanga Wanelua. Hang when you find for another. It's not the time we go change for them. Change for them, tell them we know this. When you go Kulia Poku Apakuya, they might not say Apayo. Igbo people have been marginalized. IPOBs have been brutalized. We no go sit down there.
Purchase your tracks today.
Make them come kill all of us. We no go sit down there. Look. We no go take our life. We no go sit down there. Look. Make them stop the house like us. We no go sit down there. Look. Make them come report our girls.
Purchase your tracks today.
Instead of up, they take us down. Instead of right, they take us left. Buru the change. They promise to change, but we don't see the change. Why you don't let BIAFRA go? Are you not tired of killing them? There's not the time we go send up for them. Send up for them, tell them we don't be something. We don't go sit down there, look. Make them go kill all of us. We don't go sit down there, look. Make them go check our wallet. We don't go sit down there, look. Make them go to house like us. We don't go sit down there, look. Make them go report our girls.
Hello, good evening, everybody. Good evening, fellow Biafra. Good evening. I want to welcome you to this wonderful, once again, edition of What Time Is It on Biafra Television. I want to welcome each and every one of you. I encourage you to share this program. I want to say thank you for being part of what we are doing here today. We are transmitting on Biafra Television. We are transmitting on Patrick Ikem channel, both on Facebook and on YouTube. And what we are going to discuss today is going to be very, very interesting. So I would like everybody to help share this program, tag your friends, make sure that this program this evening goes viral. It's going to be interactive. I'm going to open the line when the time comes. And I'm also going to give opportunities for people to be part of this interactive program. We are going to play video clips and we are going to analyze them together. What we are going to do and what I'm going to talk about is talking about the propaganda the lies and the deceit as instrument of war. And looking at where we are today, it is very, very important that we continue to enlighten our people, that we continue to open the eyes of our people. Because a lot of people do not understand the time we live in. A lot of people do not understand where we are at this point in our struggle for Biafra restoration. Many people still think that, things are the way they were 10 years ago in IPOB, that things were the way they were 5 years ago. They don't know that as time passes, IPOB progress, they face new challenges. And even some of the old challenges come in new ways and patterns and forms. So you can actually be facing a challenge of the past, but in a different dimension. So we're going to talk about how lies, deceit can be used as instrument of war. Because whether you agree with me or not, we are at war. And the people we are fighting with, the Nigerian government, have the resources to do whatever it takes to win this war against us, as long as it has to do with keeping us in bondage. They are ready to do anything it takes them to keep the Biafra people in bondage. But what is important is that the people have reason and they understand that there is need for their freedom. But understanding there is need for you to fight for your freedom has to also go with you tracing back to history for you to be able to understand where you are coming from. Because if you don't know where you are coming from, you will never know the direction. Despite the fact that you are fighting for your freedom, people who you want to free yourself from are also fighting to keep you in slavery. So it is a battle for you and for them. As much as you want freedom, they don't want you to be free. And they are ready to do anything to keep you in that bondage. Because as long as they are benefiting from your bondage, it pays them to keep you in bondage. But all the people who have fought their freedom and succeeded have always succeeded as a result of the amount of information at their disposal, the amount of awareness they have. Our leader Mazi Nnamdi Kanu have done a great job of awareness over the years, trying to, because he understands the importance of knowledge, that equipping our people with the knowledge required for this freedom is where the journey starts. And I'm going to play you a clip. But before I play this clip, I want to see that many people are joining us, because what happened is that most of the time, people join in the middle of the program. Some people join in the middle of the program. But I would like to see if more people can join us while I play this clip. It is about 16 minutes clip. And it is a clip that was taken in the middle of Biafra war. And an army major, a Nigerian army major was interviewed. But what I want us to do is to look critically at this clip I'm about to play, because so many things played out in this clip. A British journalist was interviewing Major Adekunle in this video that I'm about to play, and so many things were said. And most of us must have come across this video on YouTube, in different social media platforms, but there are there are details that we've not been able to pay attention to, and those details are the things we are going to pay attention to today. So I want you to brace up. If you have your coffee, go and make your coffee. If you have water by your side, take your water, relax yourself, because I'm going to play this clip. And when I play the clip, then we can all return back to analyze. But before I play the clip, I want us to take a short break, and we'll be back.
We need peace, we choose freedom. We need peace, we choose freedom. There was a nation living in peace and unity. Yeah. They are people with love and harmony. Oh, yeah. They saw greatness rise up to its purity. With another people of different culture, a different heritage, bias and oppressive. Oh, I see. A nation from trigger of Africa, rising with strength and might and power. In due time, nobody gonna oppress us. Rather, you all gonna embrace her. With your flag, with your flag, with your flag, with your flag. Oh yeah. Let the tears of our mothers who lost their children be heard. Let the blood of our heroes speak from now till forever. Let the whole wide world know Biafra is our home. Oh yeah, Biafra is our home. Oh, it's my home. Yeah, Biafra is our home.
I reminisce way back 1967. Death toll and the blood couldn't count them even. Mama screaming, child squealing, pops on the ground. 2.5 years, over 3 million's gone. Why? Cause we asked for our freedom, and we're going back to our sovereign kingdom. They shut us down when we cried, the world said nothing. Sitting back in the crib, watching our suffering. Should I talk about the planes dropping shells like rain? Suka had the first taste of a hero's blood. Abagana Zobunigwe was stronger than flood, but the juke is too strong and fought them off on the chart. Thought the bloodshed's gone, then it came again. 216 and the massacre, it started again. So bloody name, I couldn't cry tears. Blood dripping down my eyes, water in my vein. We died trying to fight the cause and we're trying to break him. It's our freedom, but the world was against us.
Wave your flag over Africa. Welcome people of Biafra. Wave your flag over all the world. See those people of Zion is here.
It is a nation that the Lord has chosen for the people of Zion. It is a nation that the Lord has chosen for the people of Zion.
We need peace, we choose freedom. We need peace, we choose freedom. Yeah. Let the tears of our mothers who lost their children be heard. Let the blood of our heroes speak from now till forever. Let the whole wide world know Biafra is our home. I see the rising sun from Africa. Oh, this is a sign of victory. Oh, yeah. I see future in Africa. Oh yeah, people of Biafra. See light shining on the world.
Yeah, welcome back. I know you had a wonderful time listening to this great music. Biafra is our home. What is the nation Biafra? Before I proceed, I would like to let us understand that this evening broadcast is going to be a little exceptional. It's going to be exceptional in the sense that we are going to translate what happened between 1967 to 1970 to the events of today. And that is why we are here, to see how we can connect with the past. Because if you don't know your past, you can never know your future. You can never find a direction to the future. So it is important that we are able to sometimes, once in a while, go back. We don't dwell in the past, because it's different to dwell in the past than take a reflection of the past. And what we are doing this evening is taking a reflection of the past, because that will help us to look at the horizon and be able to see where we are to determine the future, and also to reinforce our sense of belief in this struggle for Biafra restoration. Because when we look around today, we see a lot of things happening. Things are happening. A lot of things are happening, and most of the time, when things start happening, it is better you go back to the past, because your past will help you, give you direction. And that leads me to the clip I'm about to play. And I want everybody to pay attention. And it is what I'm going to show you is a kind of documentary, but we are going to take the real message at the end of this video clip, where Major Benjamin Adekunle actually, used a propaganda, used a propaganda to create a kind of distrust, to create a kind of suspicion among Biafrans. And this is what is playing out today in our lives, in this struggle. People are using different kind of stories of corruption, different kind of stories of, to create distrust among our people. Let's take this clip.
I believe many people in Europe are getting this idea of ceasefire wrong. We on this side, at least, were honorable enough to observe it. But are the rebels actually observing it? I'll tell you one thing, that for the past 24 hours, the rebels have actually intensified their attacks on all fronts. And the sponsor, those who actually, like Britain, that has come out to say they're requesting for the ceasefire, I don't think actually that they understand what the rebels are, or even their ideas or their mood of thinking. If they do, they should have appealed also to the rebels to do it. And it's just cockeyed, really, running from post to pillar, asking us to have a ceasefire. Experience that actually taught us that it's just nonsense. But I blame no other nation for this nonsense but Britain. Now, when we had this Addis Ababa conference, the peace talk, the rebels agreed that they were going to have a ceasefire. But how far did they observe it? The attack on that particular day, throughout the period of the conference, was rather very heavy. Now, what they are trying to do now is just to have time to re-equip, regroup, rearm, and be properly refitted so that they can continue the war during the Easter. Now, they will never again have that time. They will never be given that opportunity. It's just gone and gone forever.
Sweeping over the town, strafing and dropping rockets as they move. Yesterday, 27 people were killed and about 300 were injured. At precisely 1:30 every day, they come over the town as the marketplace is full, as patients are sitting out on the lawns at hospitals, and the clinics with children in them are moving in their exercise grounds. Here comes the next one. He's flying the other side of the Mission Church, sweeping to the right. Just above the mission now, one MiG-17. Less than 300 feet high, strafing the ground as they move, dropping incendiary bombs and fragmentation bombs in the marketplaces around here. Yeah. To our right, there's one sweeping high over the trees, coming in for his second run now, positioning himself for the next run in. This mission, St. Finbus, is surrounded by Bofor guns, Attack guns. They have no radar. They have to wait until they see the aircraft before they can give themselves time to load and fire and give the people surrounding this time to prepare themselves. There goes another one. This one hasn't fired, obviously positioning himself, and there's another one at 400 feet, banking low over the town, firing terrible spot here. Very good. Slanting to the left. Slanting to the left. Rising up high over him up here. He's dropping incendiaries. People in the bush. Listen, here comes another one. A little bit. This is their 7th run-in. The time is 1:45 on Saturday.
Come on, dig as fast. Don't go.
Please go down that way. Leave the horse alone.
Well, that is quite true. Look, having compressed into a very small area, one has got to be a bit very careful about what you do and what you don't do. Now, if we kill ourselves, we are the one going to repair it. But I think we've given them long time, a long period, to think, fitting into the new concept of a new nation, Nigeria, that they have refused to think. The more time you give them, the more dogged they become, the more stiff-necked they become, the more parochial they become.
go. Also, to put ya or on the hair, or Naga Quamos, Nandan and Nana,
Exactly how many people die of disease and starvation is not known with any accuracy. The people who work in these camps and clinics often wonder how the experts in London and Washington arrive at the figures they publish. The only certain thing is these foodstuffs brought in by the church planes from San Tome has halted to a greater extent the starvation of June, July and August. But the death rate is still high, especially among the children and old people. And the main killers are still kwashiorkor, the disease of malnutrition, tuberculosis and measles. What will you do if the Federals do come any closer?
Well, we probably move out where we are just at the moment and try to find security a little bit further in the bush.
You'll leave the camp altogether?
Well, we would have to, because the children naturally will try to get shelter in the bush somewhere themselves, you see, so no point of our remaining.
It worries you, it must worry you, that every day the Federals are getting closer.
Yes, it does worry us a lot when we hear the noise of shelling in the distance, coming closer and closer and closer.
How will you survive in the bush?
Oh, well, we take a little pack with us if we can, and I think we'd last out for a few days, you know. We have our little packs ready. We take some cold water with us, and...
Is there any question of you leaving Biafra for your own safety or any other reason?
None whatsoever, unless we are told by those in authority to leave. Then we will leave. But of ourselves, we'd never dream of leaving the people. We'd stay with them to the bitter end.
Pick them up.
We hear rifle firing. Even we heard some last night.
Did you?
Yes.
In what, near the village?
Near the village,
Near
yeah.
the village. What? Small arms?
Small arms.
Okay.
It was like Mach 4 or 5.
Now, does this keep some people still away in the bush?
Oh, yes, because they're frightened. They go far away into the forest.
The next roadblock here.
We are going to be shut down, the two of you. Yeah, you are going to worry them as the village again.
See all the.
No, don't worry. Take them away.
Can I see the?
Put the detainment many soldiers there.
That's something homemade.
Yes. And there's a big grenade again, which has never been exploded.
Where grenade pin goes.
Yes, this grenade cap.
Even Osuku soldiers, we are not fighting them unless the man who trying to kill us. Come out from hiding place. Since this place, August, we are here, no trouble. But some of you now are calling trouble back.
Colonel, your main job, I realize, is winning this war. I wonder if you know how concerned people outside Nigeria really are, including people in Britain, at the dangers of mass starvation.
I must tell you one thing, that Europe doesn't understand Africa one bit. Not even at the moment, not even the ex-time colonial masters. Look, whenever you want to start a new project, you must have feasibility plans. Feasibility plan, in as far as this particular aspect is concerned, is to find out whether we have got enough food in Nigeria or not. We have got enough food. It is not the milk that you send from Britain or the sugar or any other thing that you send from Britain that can sustain us. We are almost self-sufficient in as far as certain items are concerned. Enough food is within the rebel-held area at the moment.
It's not a distribution problem.
The only problem which the rebels can be accused of now is this question of distribution. They are not doing it properly. It's limited to a very small circle. And that small circle is enjoying itself so much. Now you just look at some other people. You go to Gabon and see the other people who are coming up from the rebel hills, who are civil servants. Their chicks are very fat. They are not malnutrited at all. Now, the whole world is just coming on this question of humanitarian business, God knows, chocolate and all this. And who are the people actually being malnutrited at the moment? They are not Igbos. They are the Ethnics. They are the Ibibios. They are the Rivers. The houses, there are some houses even there. There's some Europe has been held there. This question of food or no food is just cockeyed. It's just a sort of cover plan. If anybody thinks that they can just hold back the hand of the wheel by the beginning of next month, they are making a damn mistake. They better begin to think twice. This country is independent and we're going to retain it that way, humanitarian reasons or not.
Yes, thank you very much for your patience. Thank you for watching. Thank you for following us through. Now, we've seen the clip and we had the interview, but a lot of things went. We all saw the malnutrition. We saw that the entire episode of this coverage were within the Igbo hinterland. And we saw the kwashoko, we saw the disaster, the humanitarian crisis. But, you know, when I was going through this clip, something shocked me. Something shocked me. And what shocked me was the last interview that Major Adekunle granted, where he said that Nigeria do not have problem of food, that the Europeans should not be talking about the issue of humanitarian crisis, food shortage, that Nigeria has enough food to distribute. But the problem they have is the food that was sent to Biafra land, that the problem they have is equal distribution. That the food were being embezzled by the Igbos. That the food that are being sent from the Nigerian side are being embezzled by the Igbos, that the Efiks, the Bibios, the Rivers, the Kwere people, and even other Hausa people who are stuck in the Biafra land, that the food is not reaching them. Now, we look at the food distribution in this clip, how children are maltreated. It is not even enough. And he's playing this propaganda, telling the world that the Igbos in the middle of the war were embezzling the food that they're supposed to. That the Igbos are even, that their chicks are, that they are fat chicks, that they are growing, they are fresh, that they are not hungry. But other people or other tribes, because what they try to is try to use the word minority tribes, So what I'm trying to draw our attention here is the kind of propaganda that is being played out. How he described the equal distribution of food. And we all know that this second in command of this Biafra war is General Effiong, who is from Ibibio. Now, what they are trying to do at this point with this propaganda is to pitch Colonel Effiong, General Effiong, to pitch him against Ojukwu, trying to make him believe that food supply is not getting to his people, the people of Ibibio and Efik. That despite the fact that he is, fighting alongside Ojukwu and the Igbos, that the Igbos are embezzling the food. So this is a situation that we still find ourselves today, where lies and deceit are being played. So you find out that even in the middle of the Biafra war, the Nigerian government were portraying the Igbos as being corrupt, that everything that was coming in were being hijacked by them. And this is where we are today, where people are also playing the same propaganda game. Even in IPOB, where they continue to poison people's mind, that some people are benefiting while others are suffering. So at the end of the day, we find out that at every point in time, there is always a mind game that is being played to make people believe that some people are having a good time in the struggle or in the battlefield while others are suffering. To create distrust, to create suspicion, because they understand that without these accusations, that people can actually work together to achieve their aim. The Nigerian government at the time had all the media support. They had all the access to the media. They had all the access to communication, sending out messages, granting interviews, playing the propaganda. On the Biafra side, they didn't even have the possibility to defend themselves in the media war. So what we've seen here is a continuous process of, one being pitching one against the other. And it is part of war strategy. Because in a situation where people cannot even unite as a result of mistrust, it is impossible for you to carry out your objective. It is impossible. And even in the middle of the war, we still even see the Nigerian government buying people over, like what is happening today, where hierarchy people are even called upon to be given money and bribed to sell their fellow comrades. Some army commanders were bought over. You know, so we've looked at the gory situation, and you ask yourself, would the suffering of these heroes who fought along this line of battle, their suffering go through because somebody lied to us about what is not real? Would we allow ourselves to continue to listen to naysayers, people who are creating confusion? Because that is what this Colonel Adekule tried to do, to create confusion, where people will say, you see, Ibibio people will say, you see, I'm saying that Igbo people, and then they carry on, because at that time everybody was desperate. People didn't have food. So anything they tell you, so because you don't even know how the food distribution is going. You say, for the past 1 week we never chop, but Igbo people, they enjoy for nature. They enjoy for Were, for Enugu. Because the Nigerian state also were able to use that food supply as an instrument of war, which everybody knows. Everything played in their own advantage. They were the one bringing the food down. So it was, even if they had the idea that they have today, they would have even poisoned the food that they were sending, like they are poisoning our food today from the north. If it had come to their mind that, you know, God has a way of doing things, they would have systematically poisoned the food that were being sent, because it is also part of war strategy. But God never laid it in their heart to poison the food they were sending across. Rather, they did food blockade. Because what they would have done is to poison the food that were coming in from the Nigerians, being that they have access to the food. They had access to the food, so it would have been easy for them to poison the food and even bring enough food in abundance. You know, but Chukwokika Biama that we serve never allowed them to think in that direction, because of the love that he has for us. You know, so, but what we are bringing to the table here is, how prepared mentally are you in this journey? Because how prepared are you mentally in this journey? Because at the end of the day, so many things play along. So many factors plays along in a battlefield, because everybody wants to be the winner. Everybody wants to win the war. And anything can be put on the table. Propaganda is an instrument. And this propaganda is always targeted at the weak people, the weaklings among us. Not the hardcores, not the strong in spirit, not the strong in faith, but they sell it to the weak, and the weak buy it easily. The weak among us are the target. When propaganda are used, it is used for the weak majority in our midst. You know, so what we are bringing to you today is looking back at how Nigeria smartly played propaganda. You see, when you see this young man, as at the time he was 28 years old, Colonel Adekule Benjamin was 28, and you see how he was speaking with so much authority, confidence, and, you know, good English expression, where people can actually communicate to your conscience, even in their lives. So when you see such thing play out today, will you be able to reflect to your history, to say that this a similar thing also played out in between 1967 and 70. This is just part of the propaganda. This one we saw here about the food distribution is just minor part of it, because other propagandas also were used in different areas, in different ways against our people. But at the end of the day, are you going to reinforce your sense of belief that no matter what happened, no matter the story you hear, that you are going to remain where you are? You're going to stand strong. So on this note, I want to, without wasting much of our time, we've seen the clip is still there on YouTube. I'm going to post it on my page, and also I'm going to share it on BTV page so that people can go and take a proper look at it. I would like to open the line because I don't want us to spend a long time narrating, but I would like to open the line so that people can call in and share their own view. We saw what Adekunle said about food distribution, that the food that was distributed, that the Igbos hijacked the food that was sent across. That they don't have problem of food, but that the problem they have is that the Igbos have hijacked the food, that they are not giving to other people within the territory. And you know what that means? That was where the misconception that the Igbos are greedy, that the Igbo people are bad, and all, they try to create, because they understand that the battle, even in between 1967 and 70, were spearheaded by the Igbos. So they needed to use other tribes within the territory, you know, to create insurrection, to create rebellion, to create distrust. And to some extent, they succeeded in doing that because they targeted the weak among us. And that continues to play out today. The target of propaganda is using the weak, is targeted at the weak people, the weak-minded people who do not know where they stand at any point in time. Because there are people who do not know where they stand at any point in time. So, to what extent will you reinforce your sense of belief and say that no matter what story I hear, I believe in what I believe in? Today we hear the message that our leader sent in, how he's been treated, how he's been maltreated in DSS custody, his state of health. And despite the lawyers putting out that statement, up to today, the DSS have not even come to challenge it. They have not come to challenge the statement, which means what Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is saying about his state of health, how he's being treated, is true. But we'll continue to call on the world to look into the treatment of the leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, in detention. So we are in a battlefield. We are in a battlefield. We are in a battlefield. And people must wake up to the reality that we are in a battlefield. That the war is here on our doorstep long time ago. And you must prepare your mind. Today, different stories are flying on social media, accusation left, right, and center. The same strategy was also used during the war. One person will accuse this, the other one will, to create confusion, distrust, and, you know, create discomfort among brothers. So the line is open, +39 388 177 9665. Call in and give us your views. For those who have followed, and if there is something you also want to contribute, you can bring them. If you have any question, you can bring them forward. We see how Colonel, because at the time he was a colonel, and they could played a very smart one by telling you that there is enough food, but the Igbos have hijacked the food. That they refuse to even give food to the Bibios. They refuse to allow food get to the riverine. Just like so many of our riverine brothers and sisters are also being deceived and lied to. Some of them are even being bribed. So you see that what is happening what happened between 1967 and 70 is still happening, where they always use we in the riverine area as a bait. They use us to fight against our brothers. They try to separate us. They try to separate us from the rest. They make you feel that you are being cheated. They make you feel that your Igbo brothers cannot treat you well. They create an atmosphere of disunity deliberately. So it is very, very important that we understand the time we live in. And for you to understand where you are at any point in time, you must understand your history, the history of the past. Because only through that history that you'll be able to reconcile your present and be able to forge a future for yourself. So, dear friends, I know that the video we watch is quite an emotional one, an emotional video. I know that a lot of people are going to have a very bad time sleeping tonight, remembering and looking at children being bombed, being starved. But rather than this situation that we saw, that we've gone through, demoralize us, let it be a source of strength to us. Let it be a source of encouragement that for our fallen heroes to have gotten this far, and we are still fighting the same fights today, that we are surely, definitely going to get to the end of the tunnel. And I can guarantee, I can assure you that there is a light at the end of it. We are talking about between 1967 and 70, which is about 50 years. So if after 50 years we are still on this same battle, fighting the same cause, it goes a long way to tell you that the victory is ours at the end of the day. But that victory is determined by your readiness mentally. The victory for Biafra is determined by how prepared you are, not to be deceived, not to be pushed around, to stand in what you believe in. Because it is very, very easy for your mind to be penetrated. So it is very, very important that our people understand that the same tactics have always been used. The same tactics. Just imagine that General Effiong was a gullible fellow. Just imagine that General Effiong, who was second in command to Ojukwu, who was also from Ibibio, was gullible like some of our people today. We had somebody who was following our leader Mazen Nnamdi Kanu, that today he fell out of the way because of gossip and lies. Just imagine that such a person was General Effiong in 1967, and he heard that his people, that the food is not reaching his village. You see why we need to appreciate the second in command to Ojukwu? That despite all the propaganda that were used, he understood what the time was. He knew. He didn't buy into the lies. It would have been easy for General Effiong to say, so Igbo people, upon all of us, they fight this fight together. They will bring food, only una go chop am. Based on the lies of the Nigerian state. Effiong would have said, I'm tired, I don't want to continue again, or I will form my own group. Just imagine that some people who are in the struggle today were to be in that hierarchy position where this type of lies were sold. Say that only Igbo people, they eat, they enjoy, their belly. Now, when I don't see you've seen the clip of children, because this video was done in the hinterland, the Igbo hinterland, Umuahia precisely, where children were having, their head is bigger than their body. And somebody is telling you that they are enjoying. Somebody is telling the world that if you even see them, that they are looking fat and robust. You had the Colonel Benjamin Adenkule say that the Igbos are enjoying, that they are having a good time. Just imagine that some of the gullibles we have today were in the position where they hear in the middle of the war and the battle, where everybody was frustrated, nobody even know what to do, and you are hearing that in Umuahia, hi, say food here jabrata, but say they no agree make the food reach our Anioma area. Say they no agree make the food reach Urobo, Ishekiri. Say as they bring the food, the land they Nuguna, so Igbo people go distribute the food, chop them among themselves. Just imagine that some of the gullibles that we have today were to be in the battlefield, that they will turn gun against each other. I say, so una they chop our food where they carry come. My people are suffering, and it's only you people that are enjoying. Just imagine that the person that we had as our deputy, who fell by the wayside, were to be in General Effiong position, and then they tell us say food will come, say you know reach in village, say the thing say no Ojukwu carry the food run. Just like they are accusing people today, say this one carry money, the other one carry money, you know agree transfer the money where they say make a transfer, you know, propaganda everywhere, accusations everywhere. Now, ask yourself, do you have the mental capacity to understand that in a war situation, that propaganda, lies, and deceit is also accepted? We saw it play out here. And it's still playing out today. Whereby people don't even know their left from their right. If they hear A, they wrong go A. If they hear B, they wrong go B. Running up and down. No direction. So many people today could not continue the agitation because of flimsy excuses. Just excuse when no make sense. We are talking about a situation now where we say not be saying a hunger of the kind of hunger we are facing in Igbo land. It's not the kind of hunger situation of 1967 to 70. At least we see the chop small. Hello, caller. Good evening.
Good evening, Mazi.
Yeah, welcome to the program. Can you tell us your name and where you are coming from? You are the first caller for today.
Yeah, this is Kanu calling from Lagos.
You're welcome to the program, Kanu.
Yeah, bless you, sir. So I want to chip in something what you are saying. Sometimes I just read the headline and I just get upset. because what is happening in our Biafra land is absurd. Because our problem is the so-called Igbo race. Because the Igbo man, I don't know what is wrong with us. We deny our brothers because of money. Look at our mama, what happened the other day. I get upset. Even my wife was even telling me I should just try and sleep. Because I don't really know what is happening. It's our land. Come tomorrow, we'll still go back to East because we don't have any other Biafra land on earth. It's our land that we need to protect. God bless you, sir. I just want to chip in another thing. Some of us, we don't need to worry about what DOS are doing and all that. It's not our problem. Our leader, they cannot put them for a reason. And I so much believe in them. Any idea they brought out, why don't us follow them? Instead of dividing, saying all sorts of things about the DOS, it's causing divide and rule. And we don't really need that at this point now. Because Onyendu have put them there for a reason. Why don't you follow their footsteps? God bless you, sir.
Thank you very much.
God bless you.
Thank you very much, Mazi. Thank you for that contribution. Yeah, so we've seen, like our brother said, what happened in our mama. And even the army are denying. They are denying the atrocity that it is not them. Not be we. We didn't burn houses. We didn't kill anybody. The same lies and deceit. Now, how do you expect the zoo to progress when you cannot even take simple responsibility? You use lie and deceit to create a country. You are using lies and deceit to keep the country. For how long do you think the lies and the deceit can last? For how long? Will Nigeria last with these lies and deceit, trying to play everybody, play the world? You see, even an army general, at his own, an army colonel, at his level, he was lying in the battlefield against a whole Igbo race. That the food that were brought in were being embezzled. Just like somebody will come out today and say, in this struggle, some people are receiving salary. It's as good as that. Some people are taking salary, while others are not taking salary. Some people are being paid. Now, who are being paid? Who are being paid? Some people will say, but he gave away the call. Who are collecting salary? Exactly. The same strategy. We have a caller. Hello, Mazi.
Yeah, Mazi Patrick, good morning from my end here.
Mazi, good morning and good evening from here, and welcome to the program.
Okay, so yeah, my name is Peter Solomon. So I've been in tune with the program you are doing this morning at my end here. As to regard to the instrument of propaganda that are being used against our people in 1967 to 1970 during the Civil War. So anyway, it is our duty to learn through history and be able to address the issues that lead to some of the challenges that we face as a people that even linger on up to the present day. So I think this is a very big discussion for Biafrans because, yeah, it's very, very important that we look into the past and we see some of the ways that we are being used to bring the issue of divide and rules among us. And it's still the same way that is happening today. Let's assume, for instance, when the agitation of Biafra is gathering momentum, now they started talking about restructuring and they started talking about creation of states. And all these things are propaganda because when you looked at them, yeah, you see that Ohaneze Ndibo and most of the people in the Rivera area, they almost believe that the restructuring is going to happen under Buhari Fulani regime. But because they make them to believe so, and they never know that this is a propaganda, that they just wanted to use that propaganda to mellow down the agitation of Biafra. And they watched in 1967, 1966, after that gone over. Do you know the point of discussion at that very moment? Because they are seeing the withdrawal of Igbos, and they have watched to see the demand of Ojukwu for the eastern region. So what they do that time is to set a propaganda machine into action. They start talking about creation of state, you know, and where are they targeting? They are targeting our brothers, our brothers in the Rivera areas, because they wanted this divide and rule. And why there is so many difficulties after that the people have agreed in the way forward. Now this propaganda of creation of state now came in. Some of the people who are in the head of affairs then prefer the creation of state. Then having their own state, they prefer it than having their own freedom, total freedom from the Fulani ruling government. They prefer to give up to the state, and that is what equally, you know, bring a lot of setback in that very war. Because before them, there is so many disaffections, there is so many distrust. People believe in restructuring, people believe in creation of states rather than having their own freedom. And even at this time that we are, they have not equally failed to use that the same propaganda, making them to believe that there will be a restructuring, and we will be able to control our resources, and we will be able to be independent in our own state. But where is it coming? 6 years has gone, or getting to 7 years now. Now, no restructuring. Now they have started making them to believe creation of extra state.
Igbo presidency.
Yeah, before coming to Igbo president, they have already pushing the propaganda of creation of another state, you know, and the creation of, but the states, the one they have, are incapacitated. The states they have, the one they have created from 1966 to 1967, we are not able to take care of their states. They are still owing the workers on development in all the states. Everybody is still rushing to Abuja. The states are not even capable of taking care of themselves. Then they want to create more states. These are propagandas they are using. But one unfortunate thing in the propaganda that these people always use against us is that they always get our people involved. They always get our people involved in those propagandas. They corner some individual who answer our name, who speak our language, and they will use them into pushing this propaganda and making other people to believe that we are not together in the struggle, which are very, very bad. And one of it today is even what we are seeing in IPOP. In IPOP, we are in a very critical condition. Our leader, a man who brought out himself to organize us, the people think that it is easy to organize people. Even in your village, even in your own kindred, how hard it is for you to organize your kindred or around an ideology. But this man brought himself out and down the consequences, even right now, is at the point of life and death. To be able to organize us around an ideology, to work towards our freedom, no matter how long it takes. Because working towards freedom might be a long walk. But to be able to lay that foundation around this very ideology, And it goes on as far as mobilizing our people all over the world. But some people today have been bought over, and their duty is to come and they cause distrust and disaffections in that very thing, in that very organizations that this very man has labored to put us together. It's a heartbreak that the duty of some people today is to wait for when the leadership of this organization come to speak. Then after they have spoke, then they will take it upon themselves that instead of educating Biafrans and instead of bringing out strategies or suggesting strategies, that their duty is to come and analyze the speech of the head of HOD and twisting the words that the head of HOD dish out in their broadcast. That is very appalling. And the same people will come back to deny. We are not destroying IPOP. We are destroying the evil people in IPOP to make you to believe that there is an evil people.
To make you believe that the Igbos are embezzling the food and not giving to Ibibios.
Yes, to make you to believe that there is people you don't need to associate with. There is people that are evil, so that they will cause disaffection among us, that there will be no togetherness, that there will be no trust, which are very, very bad. And even some people, they speak our language and our name, and even in a critical condition, in a war, in the state of war, which we are, because people don't understand that we are in the war. They are just waiting for when they will begin to throw bomb or shell, they thought. But we are already in the midst of war. As it is today, our leader, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, was kidnapped by Nigeria. That is a war strategy, because they did it to demoralize you. They did it in order to use it to put a stop to the agitation.
And as a bargain chip, Mazi.
Yes. So they capture Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, and we are in that critical condition right now, where the life of our leader is in the hand of the enemy, where the life of our leader is in danger. And yet, some people did not acknowledge that position. They did not acknowledge the position. Rather, they took it upon themselves to make sure that togetherness, that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu work, that it does not exist. And what they do is to go around and start accusing people. And when you ask them what is happening, what is the evidence to this accusation, they will tell you, Elohim tell us, God speak to us. But the same God said in his word, that's why I say every revelation and every prophecy of God's words is subject to reasoning. It's subject to reasoning, because God even said to his people, come, let's reason together. So now the same God said, I am not the author of confusion. I'm not the author of confusion. When you see confusion, then someone else must be the author, the initiator of that very confusion, because God is not. In the period, in the time, if God should be involved in our struggle, it should be by him giving us grace to stick together, to be able to stick together. No matter our shortcoming, then we'll be able to stick together. Because in the in their word, asomanya, for the situation we are in, somebody can say asomanya. Because of this situation we are in, we should not cause disaffection. We should not cause distrust. We must stick together, fight together, then and win this battle. After we have win this battle, then we can now come back on the round table and blame whoever that we wanted to blame after we have finished the battle. Not as when your leader's life is on danger, you are playing a blaming game. That is very, very appalling, unaccepted. And the people have taken it to be their duty. Our people are being used by the propagandas that are being projected by Nigeria in order to keep us into perpetual bondage. And that is very, very appalling. And the same people will be the people who will say they will jump after they have accused everybody. And when you ask them for evidence, they said, Elohim told us. Now Elohim has become the author of confusion. Elohim, today, they have labeled him an author of confusion, a terrorist, which is very, very unfair. And this situation, that if there is anything that Elohim has to contribute, it should be on giving us grace to stick together. It should be on giving us grace to stick together. Now Elohim is the one going around causing confusion, accusing people, accusing families. That is very, 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 very unfunny. It's very, very bad. It's very, very bad. And the gullible ones that are falling for all this lie is what we are calling for. He said we should not use our hands to destroy ourselves. Somebody has laid a foundation. We must build on that very foundation. We must build on that very foundation. Because it costs us, including life, to be able to build IPOP to where they are today. So we must not give up to propaganda, and therefore making it easy for conquest of our enemies. Conquest of our enemies. Very, very important. We must come to reject propaganda of our enemies. It doesn't matter who they are using to push this propaganda. We must reject it in totality. In totality. The DOS are in the head of the affairs of the Biafran struggle right now. IPOP under the leadership of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. We must stand by them. We must support them. We must make sure that we are not the one inviting division and inviting distrust among ourselves. Yes, issues may arise because we are not talking of one person here. We are not talking of two persons. We are talking of millions of people. There might be a kind of misunderstanding based on the knowledge an individual possess or information that are very, very that are available to that very individual. But despite all this, we must give peace a chance. We must give trust a chance, because these are the elements and the instruments that we needed most. They are not the one that need us. We are the one that need them. So therefore, we must buy into it. We must sell everything and then make sure that we retain peace among ourselves and we retain trust among ourselves, and then speak against those people that have already been bought to cause disaffections and they help to sell the propaganda of the enemies. Because what they dream and what they expected to be seen among us today is division, distrust. And why are we the ones sponsoring them with our energy? Very, very bad. Very, very bad. That a beautiful time that somebody have to be able to bring up a suggestion and to be able to do something that will advance the cause of our struggle is the time that person will bring out to start twisting the word that the head of DOS broadcast to it. That is very, very bad. That people can think in that very direction and be making such a mistake and denying that they are not actually after destroying the IPOP. They are building it. How can you now build on lie? How can you build on deceit? How can you build on propaganda? That is the work of enemy. We must reject it. Thank you so much, Mazi Patrick. You have been hammering on this, and I feel to lend my voice to our people that this thing that is happening, we are the one inviting it, and we must bring to the end of it. We must bring to the end of it and make sure that the enemy of Biafrans today, who are busy killing our people, burning our villages, that they did not gain entrances among us, and they find it easy to carry out their actions just because we are buying into propaganda. Is one of it also that I have I have also to make our people to know. Part of the propaganda is that when you open the Facebook today, you see so many groups that claim to be carrying arms, that claim to be fighting for Biafra, that claim to be the fighters, and they are making threat to people. This is where they wanted us to be. This is where they wanted us to be, so that we will not have one voice, so that some people you will be going left, some people will be going right. At the end of the day, they will use that propaganda to set us against each other, and they will be busy as it was in 1967. They are busy going to school, sending their kids to school. They are busy eating, and we are suffering for kwashiorkor. They are busy eating, and our villages are on fire. They are busy eating, and our markets are on fire. We must be very, very cautious. We must be very, very cautious, because what we are seeing today is part of the propaganda that they are setting. Today is a group. Every group coming, we are carrying arms, we are ready, we are enforcing sit at home on Monday. And these are the group of people who will go, and they will confront one uniform people or the other. And after they do, they will leave the village, and after they left the village, they will come and set the village on fire. And these people will not come out to defend the villager or the vulnerable people. They must know the time we are in. The propaganda that is going on now is for them to commit whatever crime they wanted to commit, and the day we come out, the last thing they will do, because they have already sent the propaganda machine by all these people coming on the Facebook to say it is the people of Biafra, because it's easy for them to say it's IPOP, and they will give you a video. The video you are doing, you are a Kumeku fighter. You know, you are busy dishing out threat. They will bring it out that there is not Nigerian army that committed the crime, that it is the Ekumeku, that it is Python, or all these things. That they are the ones speaking on the Facebook, promising bombing, promising destroying, promising setting on fire. These are propagandas, and that is why we are under the leadership. We know the time we are in. It's not the time for any show of strength. We are not actually in any way at this very time, and our people should not buy into that propaganda that we are here to show armed struggle with Nigeria. We are not. That is not the time we are in. When we declare our stand that we are going into, everybody will move into it at once, not the group of 6 people. How can 6 people, 8 people, or 10 people that we are seeing a Kumeku fighter and others, how can these people be able to defend the entire Biafran land? Where are they going to be found? Which number of equipment did they have to do that? We should stop deceiving ourselves. Anything we want to do, we must organize and go into it at once, or else we will be consumed by Nigeria. We must be very, very careful. Mazi Patrick, I will stand by now, so that the other people who want to call to contribute can be able to call.
Mazi, we're already
to this discussion.
We are already rounding up the program in the next 5 minutes, so I have given enough time for calls, and I think I'm satisfied with what we've got so far. We've been able to let people understand that propaganda is a tool of deceit. If you don't get it into your head. Chibuzo Kalu, get it into your head. So he said that Chibuzo Kalu said, I think the DOS and the two of you are now the same. Yes, every Biafran is DOS, and the DOS is Biafra. So get it into your head. Get it straight into your head. You cannot use the weak people among us are the target. The weak people among us, like Chibuzo Kalu, who believe that the Igbos hijack the food and they refuse to give to Ibibio and other tribes. Yes, and so many people believed it. You know, because all you just need to do is to say it. However you say it, people will believe it. So for me, And Maz, one thing again, I also understand is that these weak links who buy into propaganda and lies are not even all that significant, because it takes somebody, you know, with self-understanding. You understand what I'm saying? To know what time is it and when lies are told. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying. But unfortunately, most of the time, these weak people are even sometimes larger in number. That is the danger. Mazi, can you hear me?
Yes, Mazi, I'm hearing you.
Yes. Sometimes they could be larger in number because many of them are not even prepared for this moment. They didn't prepare themselves to face what is to come. But in every battle, it is only few that have always stood strong to win the battle. And that is why we are coming here, to reinforce your sense of belief. Anybody who is telling you that he's going to give you a better leadership than what you have today, the person is deceived. We are not in a politics where somebody will say, make me your leader, I will give you light, I will give you road. We are not in Nigerian politics where somebody will say, give me leadership position, I will make electricity 24 hours. That is not the politics we are playing here. Mazi, is there anything you have to say in that direction before we go?
Mazi, when it comes to struggle, anything can happen at any time. But most thing that is important in every struggle is the vision that the people have, the focus of the people who are in that very struggle. You can lose 100%, 90%, 75% at any time in a struggle. If struggle is not already established system, it is a kind of system that is under probability. You can have all your strategies and your opponent will counter it and you will lose. You can have your strategies and you apply it and you win. It's a game of chance. There is nobody that will come and say, okay, this is the strategy I have, 100%, it will work. Because the more you are busy discussing that strategy, the more also your opponents are studying what you are doing. They are busy studying your strategy before you could launch it. That is why you see the head of DOS today, they are not talking. Because if you come to the public all the time and you are dishing out your strategies, at the end of the day, the opponents are also the people who are also fighting against you are taking recognize of those strategies.
Just look at what happened, the last broker that the DOS made, and how the whole thing was twisted and analyzed in their own way. Just imagine that the DOS is always on air talking every day. The kind of crisis we would have found ourselves today.
You see, so they should also be very, very much aware that when you are dishing out your strategy, your opponent, Nigeria has been in a very deep, they have lobbies. They are pouring out resources, which is very, very much available to them to study the strategies of IPOP and the strategies that are being put in place for this very struggle for Biafra. And they are countering it with propaganda, with divide and rules, with diplomacy, and in so many ways. They are trying to counter them because most of us jump every time to discuss what we have in place and what we are taking action on, the direction of our action. They discuss it in the public. But this is not the position of leadership. Leadership can only call on you when they needed the masses, when they need the mass movement. They will come and announce it open, tell you what to do. Like now, to sit at home or to call for protest is for mass, is a mass thing. They will come and call the mass and tell them why we are sitting at home and why we are doing a protest. And when they sit at home also, cannot achieve the aim. They will also have the power to come back and say, stop the sit at home. That is what our people don't understand. They are not doing it because they wanted you, they want to ask you to do something, at the same time ask you to stop. But they are studying the opponent. They are studying the people. They are studying the strategies that the people that you are facing are putting in place. So when they see their strategies and they know that they are putting an advantage against our own action, we will not stand to lose. We will withdraw and they will strategize again. And our people have to be very, very aware. We can decide that we will declare Biafra tomorrow, and we will see the strategies that these people will study their strategies and see that it is not going to be for the goodness of Biafrans to do it tomorrow. And because of the things that are already on the ground, the things that have been planned against us, then it can be called up. We are not going tomorrow. Then we will postpone it. These are the way leadership does. So when leadership needed a group of diplomats, they don't need to call the public to join or started discussing with the public. You know, when they needed the group of elders or when they needed to speak with the politicians, they don't need to start coming openly and they calling the public, because these are not the mass movement. These are not they don't need the masses to achieve this. So these are how leadership goes. You engage the people that can do the job. Okay, when they needed the attention of the Eastern Security Network, they call the attention. They speak to them. They don't need to be speaking to the public. They don't need to be calling the masses, because you are not in that group. You are not in that category. What they wanted to do as a leadership, they want to achieve it with the Eastern Security Network. And you don't need to question it. You don't need to say, why you didn't come openly to discuss this with us, to carry us along. Why do you need to be carried along in the job that you are not included? You are not included. Why do you want to say, why do you want an opinion to the responsibilities that is lying in the hand of leadership?
Yes, and beside, in your own little way, in your unit, in your community, what role are you playing that makes you think you can be in a better position to make a better decision? What role, what contribution are you making?
So, Mazi, what is the most important that our people should understand? I should know what I supposed to be involved. Like now, what does it actually add to my life to come in to discuss the job of ESN, the job of ESN with me? I am not the member of ESN. I'm not even on the ground. I'm not even there. So what discussing the instruction that should be given to ESN, why should the instruction be coming to me? That's what people don't understand. The instruction that the discussion that should be made with the elder state elders. Why should that discussion come to me? Why should I be included or wait myself to be informed that the leadership is meeting the elders, that the leadership is meeting the politicians, that the leadership is having meeting with dignitaries? Then you still wanted this thing to be shared in the public, while the leadership are putting their strategies and hoping to succeed. Then you want it to be exposed to the in the open, so that the opponent,
so that it will be so that they are carrying you along.
Yeah, so that they can counter it and destroy it. Then you will come back and say, see, they have tried and failed. Why? This is a game of uncertainty.
Not even try and fail. It is the same people that will still blame the leadership. So what, is it everything you come and see on Facebook?
So, yeah, Mazi, you are true. That is what our people need to understand. They need to come to the level where they know that, okay, leadership has been put in place. They will guide us. They will direct us. It's not the matter of I am angry. I heard the person who called you say, I am angry and If you are angry and you did not plan, you did not strategize. As na nwata na-etoro eto wee jụọ ihe mere nna ya. Ihe mere nna ya eme ya. If you don't plan well, you plan to fail. So you must always listen to leadership. And anybody that is trying to discredit the leadership in this kind of difficult circumstances is not a leadership in already established system that you say, oh, everything is easy, everything has been planned. But in a very difficult circumstances of the struggle, you think that leadership is easy. Leadership is not easy. When you put your head, you will know. Because what you are involved on is capable of taking your life any second, any minute. It's not like you are a politician. See, I'm in the parliament. We are voting. This is not as easy as struggle. There is no establishment. There is no infrastructure. There is no system that protects your right. You can be fought at. Look at Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. What did he do to be kidnapped from Kenya? And people who are doing things are being pampered in Nigeria. Terrorists are being pampered. Fulani herdsmen are being escorted by the Nigerian army. But a man who is just saying his mind and liberty of his people, now you went as far as breaking your own law and international law to kidnap him and subject him under suffering, deny him of any human right, fundamental human right, in the name of a sovereign state. Mazi, there is a lot to say, but I must leave you at this very point. Our people must learn that these are not easy tasks. Anybody who brought himself to get involved in this very struggle, you should not look down on that person to be ordinary. Once it comes to leadership, once it comes to upper leadership, because there is no resources. You say that this person now is grabbing, is digging oil, or the money of the state is coming to him, he's embezzling money, he has a comfortable office. Nothing like that. Everything about this struggle is 100%, 99% risk, 99% high risk of life, your property. Look at Ikonso. What makes Ikonso today? For his family to be homeless. What makes Ikonso today a dead man and being treated in such a shameful situation? You know, a shameful death. Do you understand? So what makes him, is it not for coming out for this very struggle? And that is what somebody will be thinking, that is coming to wear suit. No, it's beyond that. It's 99% risk. We should allow the leadership to carry us along. There is front and back in this very struggle, and we must give chance to it, because that is the way it is designed. Do you understand? Thank you so much, Mazi Patrick, for giving me this opportunity. I will be in your program.
Mazi, thank you very much. I really appreciate your contribution. We have to come to the end of the program. I really appreciate Biafrans. Thank you for standing by with us. And I believe that we must have gotten one or two reasons to reinforce our belief, in ourselves, in IPOB leadership, in what we are doing. I'm almost rounding up, but I have a caller. Let me just take this caller for the benefit of doubt. Hello, caller. Good evening and welcome to the program.
Good evening, Mazi Pat.
Yes.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening. I was almost rounding up.
Yeah.
Yes.
I don't know. Every time that I called you, my name is Sonia Mobishuku, calling from Senegal.
Sonia Mobishuku.
Anytime I'm forgetting the last call, I don't know why.
Don't worry, the first shall be the last, and the last shall be the first. Mazi, go ahead. You have just 2 minutes.
Hello?
Go ahead, Mazi. I'm listening. Biafrans are also
okay. What I want to contribute to the program you are doing this evening, based on propaganda mega ife. As a propaganda, don't do it with us so much in any struggle we are. And most of our people, the reason why they buy in.
Caller, hold on, please, hold on. Just hold on. Maybe I have to call you back. I don't know what the problem is. Yeah, so somebody tried to call in, and by so doing, cutting off this call. So I think I have to call our brother back so that he can round up. Then I will just take one more call before we go.
All right, can you hear me
Yes,
clear?
yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
All right. Well, I was saying that most people are not a good student of Mazen and the Kano. And apart from that, being retentive matters in a struggle. There's nothing that Mazi has not told us related to propaganda, but people has forgotten so easily. You know, the first message Mazi Nnamdi Kanu preached to break Nigeria first is to unite the so-called South-South and Southeast to make them to be one. And that was working perfectly, and the zoo marvel over such incredible
progress.
Hello?
Yes, go ahead.
Yes. Now, immediately they thought that once they captured him, that everything, immediately they captured him, they begin to introduce that the same rules.
Mazo Zuribo, don't worry, I'm going to call you back. Just hold on. Stay, I will call you back. Go ahead. You have just 1 minute, Maz, so that we'll be able to round up. Yeah.
They began to project the same division in between. You know, I was listening to one of our brother brokers this evening from Australia, Methuselah, and I remember one thing. He said that he used it as a program. What Dave Umahi of Ebonyi State said, that he will introduce parallel government into IPOB. And you know, Dave Umahi is working with Nigeria government. And that was what the strategy they came with immediately they adopted Mazen Nnamdi Kanu, to introduce such government that will bring division. And to God be the glory today, I thank God that the front man of that division is not even IPOB registered member, which is this Simon Epa, that pretended to be a good man and a good servant before Mazen Nnamdi Kanu. And at the back of Mazen Nnamdi Kanu, he has showed who he is. So, these are the strategy, propaganda, bringing division into the struggle. That is what made our people to fizzle out so much that they cannot be able to unite. Begin to find faults among each other. And these faults finders has destroyed so many things. Mazi, I'm so much happy for you to bring all these things to the mind of our people, because our people always forget what our leader told us. He gave us so many mandates before they were captured in. He told us to go and watch Enemies at the Gate. People cannot remember that movie our leader told us. And that particular movie, anytime that is like this, I will always go and watch that movie again to remember what he said. And again, he told us also that in this particular struggle, hello, Mas, can you hear me?
Go ahead, Biafrans are listening. You have 30 seconds.
Our leader told us also.
Yes.
Okay, our leader told us also that in this particular Biafra struggle, that no gunshot will be shot at the Biafra territory. That we take the word to them, but people don't understand what he means. Now, our people has started, the division has started bringing the word that made them to launch Operation Golden Dance into our land. And the strategy they brought is to use unknown gunmen to bring more army in our land, so that when unknown gunmen, the fake unknown DSS gunmen, will bomb houses in Southeast, they will also deploy more soldiers, that there is terrorism in the Southeastern zone. And this is what our leader has taught us for a very long time. But our people don't want to take precaution over those things. And this,
thank you very much.
So much
thank you very much. Our leader have already
taught
us everything we needed to know. Anybody who refused to know, and I encourage people, I encourage people, anywhere you feel that is comfortable for you, go there. Go there. Maka onwe ihe ndị be anyị na-ekwu sị asị nwata emeli ihe dị ya n'anya, asị obele nwa emeli ihe dị ya n'anya, o buru iyi na-akpọ, isi obele nwa emekwana ihe ya, ọ na-ewe iwe na-akpọ gị iyi. You understand what I'm saying? So, but I encourage anybody who feel that they can get result. Why not go there? Go there. Go to that place if you stop jumping up and down. You have to stand in one place. No direction. That was why because even the Benjamin Adekule understand that the moment he said that Igbos have hijacked the food that they didn't give to other people in the riverine area, that it will create, you understand?
Enmity.
So yes, exactly. Like if leadership of IPOB is not doing anything to keep us strong, then go to where they are doing something to keep you strong. Go to that place where something is doing, where they are doing something. If the leadership is not giving you Mpulumiri to keep you strong, go to even and Mpulumiri keep you strong. Yeah.
At the moment, you see this particular propaganda. You know their agents. You know they pay them so much to to flood on Facebook talking like this. One of our brother, but at this point in time, is not playing a good role. That Nsema.
I don't want you to be calling people's Mazi, please stop calling people's name. There is not necessary, it's not relevant. Let me let you go now. Thank you very much for
that
your
particular young man I'm saying now is also bringing that the same.
Mazi, stop calling people's name. I want to say thank you for your contribution. You've had almost 7 minutes. I really appreciate. Thank you very much. I don't appreciate it when people's name are called in my program because please, if you want to call if you want to talk, we understand where you are going. Don't bring people's name and start making it making people feel that they have any contribution to make. I'm calling our Kingsley Oziribo. Hello, good evening, Mazi.
Thank you very much, my dear brother. Thank you, Solomon. Thank you very much for your analysis. You see, it's very, very simple understanding. He was there to expose Nigeria. All of this suddenly he's come back to expose, expose his own people that he feels that is discipling and decision, or the distraction. My dear brother, that is it. See, you made all the whole point and love, even to call. For me, I said no. I know that you are going to call, but no, I will still thank you. Thank you for your analysis because you suck your mother's breast well because your analysis shows wisdom. I'm telling you the gospel truth, my dear brother. This is, how do you go in towards that kind of direction?
Now, Mazi, listen. Did you watch the video clip that I played? Did you watch from the beginning to the end?
No, I did not.
Okay, now, when you watch the video clip, you see Benjamin Adekunle trying to show sympathy to our people in the riverine area, trying to pretend that he even loved them more. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying.
Yes, sir.
He's pretending as if he loves our people in the riverine more than the Igbos love them. So now he's trying. If you have to go and watch the video, I already played it. I will share it on the where he was saying that the Igbos hijacked the food that was coming in, that they didn't allow food to get to our people in the riverine area. And they know that the second in command of Ojukwu is an Ibibio man. So they specifically used Ibibio. Say that they didn't give food to Ibibio, they didn't give to all all those our people in the river area, trying to now, if now that Colonel Effiong was gullible like Nwafo Ifeanyi, who is commenting here, if Nwafo Ifeanyi were to be in the position of Colonel Effiong between 1967, he will turn his gun against Ojukwu. So you people are eating the food, and it's not even getting to my people.
David, my brother, I'm kneeling down to say this word on this year platform this night. 2019, this guy, disciple, started this gossiping, and I wrote there, I know that he's from the northern Biafra, really. Then I wrote there, I say, why did the David Omahi have phoning our mineral resources coming from Ebony, sharing it with the Nigerian government and the Chinese government, whereby the allocation of oil and gas in the south is reaching there. Man, if you didn't believe this guy deleted that, okay, I said, okay, can you try to do anything and struggle so that we will support you that, and because this exposing to Nigeria is the same thing that our leader is doing. He deleted it. Now I started pulling out my interest on the platform. He wrote on my what they call it in my Facebook Messenger that you don't want Biafra, you don't.
Please, this caller should, if you want to call, you call
But when
on
it was
WhatsApp.
3 numbers, my dear brother, I wrote, somebody bring his story. I said, look, you people should be watching this guy. This thing happened before Uchem of Focus. I said, you people should be watching this guy. You people are bringing, because I started talk about have shows his own color, so nobody can come into here and smart us. We are heading in one direction, and that man is the one that leading us. So in this situation with this man in, and this thing is coming out, I'm not surprised. I'm telling you people, stand strong, stand heavily strong to defend the earth.
Mazi, thank you. Mazi, thank you very much. Thank you very much for your contribution. So that is it. Somebody try to call in directly. If you can call back again, I will pick your call before I go. You try to call caller from the US, from Michigan. Caller from Michigan. You try to call in. So if you can try again, I'll pick your call before I go. So like I was saying, that our people need to toughen their mental strength. You have to toughen your mental strength. For me, as it is right now, I'm no longer interested in anybody, because at the end of the day, not everybody will really follow the struggle till the end. Not everybody. Some people are going to definitely fall by the wayside. So for me, it is natural that ọbụrụma niile bụ n'ije ga-elute n'isi njedebe. But we are here to educate you. Whether you like it or not, you have to either accept it or you leave it. So
We need peace, we choose freedom. We need peace, we choose freedom. There was a nation living in peace and unity. Hey, they are people with love and harmony. Oh, yeah. They saw greatness rise up to its purity. With another people of different culture, a dear heritage, bias and oppressive. Oh, I see. A nation from trigger of Africa, rising with strength and might and power. In due time, nobody gonna praise us. Rather, you all gonna embrace her. With your flag, with your flag, with your flag, with your flag. Oh yeah. Let the tears of our mothers who lost their children be heard. Let the blood of our heroes speak from now till forever. Let the whole wide world know Biafra is our home. Oh yeah, Biafra is our home. Oh, it's my home. Yeah, Biafra is our home.
I reminisce way back 1967. Death toll on the blood couldn't count them even. Mama screaming, child squealing, pops on the ground. 2.5 years, over 3 million's gone. Why? Cause we asked for our freedom, and we're going back to our sovereign kingdom. They shut us down when we cried, the world said nothing. Sitting back in the crib, watching our suffering. Should I talk about the planes dropping shells like rain? Suka had the first taste of a hero's blood. Abagana Zobuni wave was stronger than flood, but the juke is too strong and fought them off on the chart. Thought the bloodshed's gone, then it came again. 216 and the massacre, it started again. So bloody now, I couldn't cry tears. Blood dripping down my eyes, water in my vein. We died trying to fight the cause and we're trying to break him. It's our freedom, but the world was against us.
Wave your flag over Africa. Welcome people of Biafra. Wave your flag over all the world. See those people of Zion is here.
It is a nation that the Lord has chosen for the people of Zion. It is a nation that the Lord has chosen for the people of Zion.
We need peace, we choose freedom. We need peace, we choose freedom. Hey. Let the tears of our mothers who lost their children be heard. Let the blood of our heroes speak from now till forever. Let the whole wide world know Biafra is our home.